welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 82. Your bi-weekly dose, your fortnightly dose of Korean StarCraft. I'm of course your ZvP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Bienvenidos here to our bi-weekly broadcast. And when it comes to the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, of course, a big shout out to Dave, Tessa, and Chicken Man for hosting and organizing this event on a regular basis. This is now, unfortunately, this event did actually take a bit of a hiatus, did go like on a week's break, just because of all the offline events that were occurring, just because of SC for All and the NA events. I mean, there was a lot going on, but now the KSL is back and has returned. And as you can see when it comes to the title of the stream, this is a replay cast. This event did occur less than 24 hours ago. Fun fact, less than 24 hours ago was the event. The reason why we didn't cast it live, if you remember, is because yesterday we were live with Stellarfest. We were the B stream. The B stream was Stellarfest. It was a very early and very intense broadcast. So once we wrapped up, technically we could have done Stellarfest right into KSL. We could have done so, but I didn't feel like I'd be well rested enough, that I would have the energy, the stamina, the fortitude to be able to cover one and then the other, like with good casting and then doing a decent job at covering the event as well. Like, I was definitely concerned that I would definitely run out of energy, that I'd be low energy and likewise make mistakes and that. So in the end, we decided to sleep. We did decide to sleep instead, and now we're here less than a day later to cover the event. Let's go. Let us go. And first, we do have our initial series. It's going to be a best of 3 between Shameless and YoungYakov. Let's jump in. Let us jump in. Despite the name of the tournament is at a Korean friendly time slot, but it is open to all players, including players from the Americas, players from Europa as well, as we are jumping into our first series, into our first best of 3. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. So thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much. The partner anniversary. True. Do appreciate all the well wishes in the chat. Do appreciate it. As we are settling into our best of 3. Again, stepping into this YoungYakov, he has traditionally been a very aggressive player in this matchup. We've seen a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, a lot of Yakov being in your face. We'll see if that trend continues here against Shameless. I would say that they're both very close in skill. Shameless, he's an up-and-coming Protoss player who is amongst the upper echelons of Protoss at the moment. I would say the same about YoungYakov as well. If you recall, I think it was during the podcast, I was talking about how in current era and current day, Wayne has since been overtaken. Wayne has been less active. He's been playing less, competing less. His skill has been suffering a little bit as a result, looking more rough around the edges. Meanwhile, YoungYakov has been on that grind, and I would say is rivaling, if not surpassing, Wayne at this point to be one of the best Zerg players in Europe. Likewise, of course, Shameless has been improving over the past year of play as well, has been getting better results, more impressive results, taking down some of the Koreans as well, and has been looking very impressive, especially in more mid-game play. I would say more mid-game to late game. But we'll see if we can get there. We shall see. We are leading into Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the largest map. One of the largest maps in the map pool, the most defensive map in the map pool. We often see longer and later games on this. The reason for this is because the initial 3 and 4 base setup is very secure on Tokamak. Rotations in between the bases do take longer. The rocks, or the pathway in between the 3rd and 4th base, is blocked by these rocks. Likewise, you have high ground, you have elevation, and again, it's just much more difficult to break through due to those features, due to the rush distance by ground as well. On other maps, this area in between the bases is open, so you can actually traverse and bounce between 1, 2, and 3 bases. Think of like Maganatha, for example. Think of Ultra Love. But here it's walled off, so it's easier to focus and fixate on 2 bases, on 2 places to defend. So again, we often see a secure 4 base setup, and the 5th base is often more difficult to expand to, but you can max out on 4 bases. Not saying that all-ins never work on Tokamak. They can, they definitely can. It's just more difficult to pull off. The juice gets thrown down. Let's go. The juice is thrown down. YoungYakov, he will claim his 3rd. Again, just droning, saturating, pulling out of gas, and getting into link speed. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of Shameless. Opening up Stargates into a 3rd base, going Oracle, of course. And we're expecting a standard follow-up. We'll keep an eye on his Twilight Council timing. If it gets thrown down early without a forge, then that's indicative of Glaive Adepts. If it gets thrown down early with a forge, that could be indicative of +1 and charge. If it gets thrown down without a forge, but at a bit of a later timing, then we could go into blink, into early blink, delayed +1, into an 8-gate 3-base all-in. So there are different variations, different options available depending on when the Twilight Council, if a Twilight Council gets thrown down. Otherwise, the Adept is going to be zoned away, and we have 12 links in production to shut this down and to counterattack. So big investment here from YoungYakov. Up to 14 lings. Link speed is almost done, and Shameless has to get the hell out of here. He has to shade away. Ideally, you save these Adepts and you preserve them so they're able to defend your third base. If these Adepts get surrounded, if they die, then the first Oracle has to stay at home to defend the third base. So the Adepts, they make it back. Third base is being taken, being secured. YoungYakov moves out across the map. Again, he wants that third ideally, or the Adepts. Oracle does hit the main. And Lings, they will get a surround, but here comes the second Oracle. The first one pokes in, is pulled away. Adepts are going to be surrounded. 1, 2 Adepts go down. The Oracle will defend against this, but will lose both Adepts. Will have to be replaced. Will have to be replaced instead. There's the NG overcharge. Lings are dealt with. And Shameless does defend. He does secure his third, but because he had to keep the Oracle at home to defend, that means drone kills. I mean, there are none. There's no economic damage. And Yakov goes back in. This time the Adepts, they have morphed in. They have warped. They're in position. And so far, coming into the early game, I would favor YoungYakov here. So far, he's done a great job at minimizing losses, preserving his economy, and also counterattacking and forcing extra warp-ins. Behind this, Forge at Twilight Council at regular timing. We're leaning towards +1 and Blink, but we'll keep an eye on Shameless, as extra gateways are going to be thrown down. Gateways on the way. We are getting a safety lair. Sorry, safety roach, what I meant to say. Lair is also on the way. What's interesting here, no Eva Chamber. No Eva Chamber, no +1 melee, so we're going straight into roaches, most likely either into a Roach Ravager heavy composition or into Roach Hydra and skipping tech. The other option here on a larger map, if we take all 6 gases, so far we're only on 4 gases. If we take more gases, that's indicative of Spire play and potentially going into mutas. But extra gas is not being taken. Double Eva Chamber instead, going for roaches. Nice wall off. Very nice wall off here by YoungYakov. He denies the Adepts. Adepts are denied. +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up into Storm. So standard setup here by Shameless. Oh, can he force a cancel? Take top of the third base. They attempt to engage. So what is a fourth base? So fourth base will be saved. We are going into delayed +1 melee alongside Roach Speed. Interesting. Often you will not get both, so I'm curious here. The reasoning for this, of course, is you go +1 melee into Hydras, into Link-Bane Hydra. Investing into Roach Speed here tells us that we might just see a commitment into Link-Bane Roach Ravager, actually, and not take up. And go for something more mid-game oriented, potentially even going for a 3-base all-in. Right now, we are joining up a little bit more heavily, though, joining up to 69. Nice. Past that, actually. Oracles, they confirm saturation. So nicely done. He gets eyes on drones being sent towards the 4th base. So Shameless, he knows that we're building up into a longer game. We're building up. This is an indication to expand, so 4th base on the way for Shameless. Securing himself on 4 bases. And we do see that Yakov, he's taking up even further. He's droning up even further, droning up to 80. So droning up towards 80, taking up into Hive. Did invest into the initial Roach Ravager, but he's not too committed here. Does move out, runs into the army. Again, this is a lot of supply invest into these roaches, and so far they've yet to pay for themselves. There we go, we have 10 more banelings. Oh, we just get, okay, let's go. We just send it, baby. Okay. An interesting setup here because we got the infestation bit to take up into Hive, but no, we're just going for the all-in. The Queens are walking across the map. The Link-Bane Roach Ravager as well. YoungYakov is moving in. He's going for the kill. Oh. Banelings, they don't quite make a pass. Nice connections here on the Adepts. Oh, going for High Templar. Nice connections. Gets one, gets two. Two High Templar go down. There's two Templar left. That was the final storm. In a couple of seconds, we'll have one more, but now Lings, they make it through. High Templar go down. And YoungYakov with a delayed 4-base all-in, getting droned up to 79. He was taking up a little bit further as well. But last, he caught Shameless with his pants down. GG gets called, and YoungYakov, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Interesting setup there from YoungYakov, because this did hit later than usual, right? If you were to go for a 3-base all-in, like Lingbane or Ravager all-in, this does hit a little bit earlier because you cut workers at 3-base saturation. Here, he droned up to 80, droned up to almost 4-base saturation, teched up a little bit further as well, so this was a later timing, and I believe that he was setting up for something longer. So was Shameless. Remember, what did Shameless do? He saw the drones. He saw the drones saturating and transferring over towards the 4th base. That told him to, oh, I can expand, I can tech up, I can get ready for something longer, and then bam, like YoungYakov shows up with more of an offbeat timing and offbeat all-in. GG well played. It's one of those builds, it's one of those builds that is technically inefficient because it hits a little bit later, but because it's inefficient or because it's hitting later, it means your opponent is less prepared because they believe that they've like survived a stage of the game and we're getting into a macro game. So cheeky build. Cheeky moves there by YoungYakov does take a lead in the series. Now we're loading into Incorporeal. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing Team Little Fairy. Down in the series, so we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, it is YoungYakov. When it comes to the build itself, when it comes to when he tells that I'll have to keep an eye out for later on, if you remember, was Roach Speed, right? We were pointing it out how it was kind of weird. I was like, it's kind of weird that we're getting Roach Speed and Melee at the same time and a Baneling Nest, when usually if we wanted to play macro, you'd be skipping the Roach Horn and you'd be skipping Roach upgrades and going straight into Hydras instead. You'd be a little bit more efficient in that sense. So it did catch us a little bit off guard as to the upgrades of choice in the setup, but I mean, after the first game, now we see why, right? It's because he did not intend for the game to go longer, or you could maybe argue that maybe it's just a more flexible style, because he did invest into the Infestation Pit, right? Like, he was thinking about a longer game, but maybe after getting scouted, after his drones were seen, he was like, you know what? I see an opportunity, I'll go for it. So, a flexible style there out of YoungYakov. We'll keep an eye out for that again. Up and now, welcome to Incorporeal. Incorporeal is a large map in the map pool, that is true, but unlike on Tokamak, we spoke about it, we brought it up, there is an entrance here in between the bases. So on Tokamak, we spoke about how it is easier to defend on 4 bases because of the proximity of the 3rd and 4th base, but also because of the lack of attack path in the center, right? Here it's open. Here you can attack the 3rd base, attack the natural, and attack the 4th as well. So there are multiple attack paths. The 4th base here on the low ground is also more open. It's wider. The entrance is wider. It's also on the low ground here. I mean, it's more accessible. It is more difficult to defend. What I will say, though, is that especially on Incorporeal, we have seen players be quite successful here in 4-base defense. You could argue there's more attack paths, that is true, but this top base is actually much more secure than the 3rd base of Tokamak. The bases on Tokamak are nowhere near as secure as this because of the high ground, right? Because of the ramp, because of the high ground, because of the choke point. Because of this, you can actually invest into the bare minimum to defend this 3rd base with some SimCity, with a handful of units. You can defend this quite easily, and your main army can focus their defenses here and focus their positioning at the natural and at the 4th base, right in between. So because of this fact, we have still seen a lot of mid to late game here on Incorporeal. It is still difficult to pull off all-ins, but hey, that was the case from Tokamak. We'll see how YoungYakov will approach this. We shall see. Once again, Stargate opener. I don't really expect Shameless to deviate when it comes to the build. Stargate, 3rd base, into +1 and Blink, into Storm, is what we're expecting. It comes down to what YoungYakov gets into instead. How aggressive is he going to be? How committed is he going to be? And how safe is Shameless going to change his approach? How will he adjust after the openers? This is where this series comes into play, where YoungYakov, he was droning, he was somewhat teching up, despite that still went for an all-in. Coming into game 2, make it look the same, but actually drone and saturate, and there's a high chance that Shameless would be nowhere near as greedy. He might delay his 4th base intentionally, he might take up on 3 bases faster instead, and stay on 3 bases a little bit longer because he'd be terrified of what happened in game 1 of it happening again. So the mind games might be the mind games. How much cake / what cake did you eat for birthday, Lance? I know it was a week plus ago. I did not have any cake. Smooge. Hey, you reminded me. I was like, oh, maybe I should get something like for my belated birthday. Maybe like next week or something. So now, two drones going down. We get some okay damage here with the oracles. Lings, they move out across the map to try to apply pressure here to the 3rd. We have a Forge, Twilight Council, +1, and Blink going to be on the way. Standard follow-up. And this time YoungYakov is going lair first. Okay. Does go lair first. It's going to be a lair before Eva Chamber, before Roach Warren. There's a higher chance that this might lead into fast Hydras. We'll see. So just catching up with the chat. As the 4th base is going to be cancelled. I mean, so far, Shameless is all over this. He gets extra drone kills, he denies the expansion, he protects his 3rd base, he didn't lose any adepts. The efficiency here has been greater for Shameless, so a much cleaner game out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, the lair is about to finish. We are taking extra gases, and as you can see, no Roach Warren. This should be a Hydrogen or potentially even a Spire. But we're leaning more towards Hydras. Listening for years, first time chatting, watching as a family with a little one. Love your technical communication skills and the no slouching. Glad to see your channel growing. Yes. Posture check in the chat. Posture check. No. But thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Hope you're taking care. And we expected it to be a Hydrogen, but no, it is indeed going to be Mutas. This is quite risky. This is quite risky here as we're devoting quite a lot into Mutas. That means no Roaches, delayed +1 melee as well. So there's going to be a window in time here where YoungYakov is vulnerable. And we'll see if Shameless can take advantage of that. So far, Shameless doesn't dip into the main. Did see the lair timing, so is aware that something is a little bit off. Did also see the entrance here into the natural. So is aware that, as we expected earlier, it's either going to be Hydras or Muta play. One or the other. Now Shameless is defending back at home. Setting up. Ooh, double robo on the way out of Shameless. Okay. Going for a very heavy ground army. Meanwhile, we have 11 Mutas on the way here for YoungYakov. Thankfully, there are at least some Blink Stalkers. We have some side defense as well, but nothing in the main base, nothing in the natural. We do have an opening here available. Yakov can pop up. Oh! Gets a full scout there. Okay. We'll lose one of the oracles, but now is fully aware of the Mutas. Instantly, cannons and shield batteries are on the way. Quick reactions here out to Shameless. Phoenix production has begun. And we did touch on it, but I mean, going into Muta play in PvZ, it's very, very risky here. If it goes unscouted, it can end the game, 100%. It can end the game, you can kill your opponents, you can just wreak havoc. But if it gets scouted, it doesn't take much here to shut this down. So it's high risk, high reward. Mutas they pick in, they get one probe so far. Oof. One pro for 2 mutas. Ay, ay, ay. Again, we did mention it. Mutas are so frail, they're so fragile. They're very mobile, of course, and they're amazing at harassing. But in a head-on fight, they're almost dead supply. I say almost because they still do a great job at like diving in and sniping High Templar and forcing out storms and taking down War Prisms as well. They can snipe high-tech units, high-value units. Yakov rotates over. Gets spotted by the Adept. Shameless responds. Revelation on the mutas. That's going to be a Lodeling Bane. We're setting up, we're going for it. Bathing speed is done, plus on melee as well. There are some stasis traps on the high ground. Yakov, did he notice? That I'm not so sure about. Yeah, speaking of bathing, they roll in. Ooh, brutal stasis trap. Stasis goes off. Plenty of time to respond, and the Link main is completely shut down. Yakov is maxed out, but he's maxed out again with a harassing army. Ooh, another muta falls. Seeing almost another. Storm of the mutas. Going for the dive, and he gets every single High Templar. High Templar do go down. Mutas are softened up. There's still a couple of Archons remaining. But without any storms, I mean, did just warp in for more High Templar. Mucho gusto. Ah. Gracias, gracias. As once again, mutas deflected. Behind this, Hive is on the way. Based on the melee upgrades, technically we could try to go into something like Infestor Ultra. Okay, let's go. Now, this is a style that recently Lambo has been playing with a lot. I'll be honest, I haven't seen anyone do it in competitive play. I have seen Lambo do it on the ladder, true. But part of it is also because I haven't really seen much of Lambo in ZvP. But he has been experimenting a lot in this matchup with Mass Ultra and Microbial Shroud specifically. Mutas go for the backstab. They catch an Immortal, not bad. Immortal goes down. Shameless is committing in. He has 4 High Templar. He has at least 4 Storms. And the Ultras aren't ready yet. Neither are the Infestors. Shameless is moving in. Mutas are going for the dive. They're going for High Templar. There's 1, 2. Oh, and every Templar goes down. That was the final storm. 3. Going into 3. High Templar getting picked off. And again, it's all or nothing here for Shameless. He does have another Archon, true. Up to 2 Archons. And Yakov is just going for the base trade. Okay. It's a late reaction, late response. He cannot fight the main army. Goes across the map instead. Here comes that Ling Bane. But this army is so sturdy here. And shuts down the Banelings. Chasing down YoungYakov. Again, Banelings that don't trade well against Immortals, Stalkers, or Archons. Oh. And Yakov turns around. He turns back around. If there weren't any Archons with this army, Lynx could completely shut this down. And here we have a couple of Ultras. The Immortals! Yeah, the Immortals are exposed. Nice lift of the Immortals. Oh my god! It's the Shameless. He saves the Immortals a little bit longer, but alas, they still get shut down. And there's a recall. Yeah, YoungYakov holds. He holds, he cleans up the army. Ay, ay, ay. He did save the Immortals a little bit longer, but he did not target fire the Ultras. Shameless is forced back. He lost top right. Where are the mutas, by the way? There's still a couple of them left. Still a couple of mutas. But a very creative approach, of course, lifting the Immortals, saving them initially, but they still went down. We're now up to 8 Ultras. Very high ultra count. Now, I mentioned this before. What Limb has been doing is not just ultra, it's a combination of ultra and Microbial Shroud. Speaking of, there it is. So it is in the back of YoungYakov's mind. Microbial Shroud is being researched. Infestors are on the way. He's almost there. And again, this is something that I've yet to really see in tournament play. But I'm ready for it. If we can get there. Like, the problem as well is that Yakov, this was never the initial plan. He's kind of like stumbling his way into Ultra Infestor. After very mixed results with the mutas. Shameless slowly taking his 5th base. There's a borrowed link to block. Skytoss is on the way, going carrier. There's a building up to 8 infestors. Microbial Shroud is almost done. As they dive on the Stargate. Bailey's rolling in. Up! Decent connections. Decent connections, but the buildings are saved. Shameless is holding on. Likewise, YoungYakov does have a high drawing count of 90, but he hasn't really been mining from these fringe bases for much longer, actually. Has the hatcheries, but has no mining. Has no saturation. Corruptors. Oh! They don't quite punish. Not quite. Oh, that's going to be 1, 2, 3 ultras going down. Where's the support, by the way? The ultras are on their own. Yeah, they're on their own. They're being targeted. Microbial Shroud, it does catch some ultras, but not everything, and there are just so many immortals here. Yeah, the ultras are going down. A bit of a blundered assault here from YoungYakov. Again, ultras are okay. They're good, but you need some link support, some links, some bailings, something else to help tank. Ultras, they went in on their own. Okay, we got 5 more ultras on the way. Let's go. As he hits to right. They force out Narcon. Three more, soon to be 7 ultras. Now, what is scary here is that Shameless, he was able to defend, he was able to kill an expansion, and he's retaking top right. Right, this base is getting up and running. He's got cannon, shield batteries. He'll have a fresh mining base, which means he can max and sustain himself. Shameless rotates on the right-hand side, getting to the middle line. Ultras are diving in. Oh, the High Templar. They have a couple of storms. A couple of feedbacks as well. And not bad. Ultras, they hit the storms. Where are the Microbial Shrouds? Where are the Microbial Shrouds? Yeah, brutal feedbacks. And with that, Shameless, he will take the fight. He can keep on pushing. And I underestimated the strength of the feedback, but hey, without Microbial Shroud, the Ultras, they do nothing. It's one infestor left. Oh, it's a 7 more. 7 more infestors on the way. 10 more infestors. Infestors are good, but we need some Ultras as well. We need some firepower. Ah. Here comes Shameless knocking down another base. Denying another expansion. It is so difficult for the Zerg player to maintain these fringe bases, whether it's center right, the middle bases, or even center left as well. are difficult to maintain. Nice round. Yakov is nearby. Shameless is nearby. It's up to 10 immortals. That's a lot of immortals back. There's that rotation. This base will fall once again. As we mentioned, YoungYakov just cannot expand. Specifically here on Incorporeal, it is so much easier for the aggressing player to just rotate. Rotate back and forth between all these 4 center bases. Raptors, they do snipe the mothership. Oh, let's go. Infestors are moving in. Show us some incredible shout. Neural, okay. Neural's almost every single immortal. Catching out 7. Okay, 7 immortals get caught out. But this also means they survive. And Neural's running out. Yeah, Neural does run out. Does around the initial 6 immortals. But they still trade. They still do trade. It's 8 immortals going down for 3 ultras. Still a better trade for Zerg. Yakov did get out. Share my papi, share my. Just getting more infestors. Are we? We already have 9. Getting up to 12 infestors. Nice catch on the Phoenixes. Nice catch. We can see Yakov taking both center bases on the right hand side. He's up to 11 ultras. He's going for the expansion. Shameless out of position. Uh-oh. There's a recall. The Bailings! Bailings roll in. Ooh. Massive connections. And I believe the High Templar just got sniped. Not quite. Templar actually survived. Yeah, they didn't recall. They didn't get recalled. They did not get recalled, so nice moves there by Shameless. Will lose the mineral line, but he's chasing. Does give chase. Going for the neural. Yarkon, another Zealot run by. Denying more mining, another hatchery got taken out. Center base is almost done. And Shameless, he's double expanding. He's getting top right up and running, and also center left. Uh oh. Nice storms. A little bit trigger happy. Oh god. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there. The ultras, they're all going to go down. We're down to 2, down to 0. Down to 0 ultras. Yeah, every ultra will fall. Massive pickups. Neuraling whatever we can, but the neurals will eventually run out. And GG gets called. Shameless, he will overwhelm. He will take the game and tie up the series 1-1. Whew. GG, well played. There was a lot of potential, and I did appreciate that we saw this more mass ultra infestor style, which we have been, or I have been hearing about. First time I'm seeing it here when it comes to competitive play, but it did look a little bit messy. It did look a little bit rough around the edges. As we mentioned before, it didn't feel like this was the initial plan for YoungYakov. It felt like we stumbled our way into ultra infestor, and even then it was just a little bit lacking when it came to the control, when it came to the execution. Multiple times you saw the ultras move in on their own, or the infestors move in on their own. Just a little bit of disjointed attacks there from YoungYakov. And GG, well played. With that, we're tied up and we're going to the ace match. Let's go. We're going to the ace match here, and again, that style has potential for sure. Like, we can see that, but yeah, I wasn't quite able to make it work. And not on Incorporeal. I mean, you saw the map come into play. It was just so difficult for YoungYakov to actually maintain an expansion. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg himself, it is YoungYakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss himself representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go, and welcome one and all to Maganatha. Welcome to the largest map in the map pool. Because it's so large, this is the map where I would have appreciated Muta play, right? The Mutas, we didn't even get to talk about it, but the Mutas that got shut down last game, they did not get the damage that we're hoping for, so it was a shaky start for YoungYakov. I would say this would be a better map for Mutas, but at the same time, at this point in the series, it feels a little bit too late for that. Ideally, you don't want to rely on Mutas 2 games in a row. So we saw them in Game 2. Coming into Game 3, we should be seeing something different. Yeah. But now though, hatch gas full, standard opener here out of YoungYakov. Now everything's looking normal. Once again, we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice. We'll see if we spend gas on a faster lair, faster roach warren, faster evo chamber. Depending on the tech, will kind of lead us down a different route. So eyes are on YoungYakov. From Shameless, once again, we're expecting Stargates into a third base, into +1 blink. We've seen it twice now. I will say that last game, Shameless did have a cleaner early game. He was able to get 2 drone kills, able to get some scouting information, preserve the adepts. We'll see if we can do it again. Oh. As Yakov does take his third. Third base is on the way. Yakov, he does pull out of gas. Getting to link speed. From here we're settling in. Adepts, they poke in, they get 1 drone kill, pulling away, nothing major. Oracle moves out. From here, Shameless is now going to be expanding, claiming his third, and settling into a longer game. Ooh, meanwhile, Yakov is on the way though. Does rally across the map. As Oracle moves in, Lings, they do hit the third, and there are 2 Adepts in position. Lings, they come in for the cancel. Up! Hoping for the surround. Getting on top of the first Adept. Nice pickoff. Gets 1, gets 2. Very nice surrounds here. Both Adepts go down. Oracle is forced back home. As he does race all the way back. The second Oracle was delayed. It should have been out by now. We see why. Infestation. Sorry, Twilight Council. Okay. I was like, what's going on? Why did the first Oracle come back home? I'm curious if YoungYakov caught on to that here, because this first Oracle shouldn't be here. The second Oracle should be here instead, and we see why. 2 more gates and a Twilight Council. This looks like Glaive Adepts. Overlord Scout doesn't see anything. There it is. Glaives are on the way. And YoungYakov, he has a piece of the puzzle. The Oracle is what I mean. To take note of the Oracle. Now here comes the second. So far gets into the mineral line, gets 1, gets 2 drones. Ooh, we'll lose one of the Oracles though. Ay, ay, ay. And we can see Yakov, he's getting into +1 melee, and he's going for a safety Baneling Nest. Now, this is not the easiest way to defend, but it is a way, right? Typically, you can get into roaches, you can seal off your natural with some SimCity, and with a roach-based setup, you can shut this down, right? You can shut down Adepts, you can engage with them ahead of time. Going into a Ling Bane response, you're relying heavily on those Banelings. If they don't connect, then the Adepts can just wreak havoc. Now, for the time being, we do have some light pressure. These are just the first 4 adepts. The rest are banking up back at home. Ooh, forcing a recall, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3. Oh my god. 3 adepts go down. That was a big misstep here from Shameless. That should not have happened, and that will weaken the push. Because now comes the glaive adept timing, and this was meant to hit with 3 extra adepts. So Shameless, he's down 3 adepts. He's now moving out. Banelings are morphing in. Here we go, here come those banelings. The hope is to collapse on the army, to lock down the adepts. So far, playing it safe does pull away. And Shameless, he backs off. The Oracle does find a little bit of damage here, gets 2 drone kills, but by retreating, Shameless, this timing hasn't really achieved anything here. And remember, glaive adepts, they do not scale well into a longer game. He had to get damage done with this. Damage had to be done. We have a massive gateway, a massive gateway explosion. As 6 gates on the way, I believe that's going to be a 10-gate, 3-base all-in. We're going for a Soul Train. Let's go, baby, let's go. We have Sentries morphing in, Immortals morphing in as well. It's going to be all or nothing. 10 gateways, 3 bases, mass Adepts, Sentries, and Immortals. Now we see why Shameless backed off. We see why he retained his army to support to pull this off. So 3-base all-in. Now, thankfully, it's not Lingbane Hydra. If it was Lingbane Hydra, YoungYakov would just die. He would just die here and now. He did decide to throw down a Roach Warren behind his main base, so cheeky moves here, throws down a Roach Warren. He's going into Lingbane Roach Ravager. This is a very safe way to play. This means he has Biles to knock down those force fields. This is why if he had skipped Roaches and gone Lingbane Hydra, which is a more efficient army, which is more tech heavy, which lends well into a longer game, he would have nothing to answer for the force fields. He'd have no Ravagers. He'd have no Biles. And here comes Shameless, moving in. Force fields are decent, but here come the Biles. And Banelings are rolling in. They will make it through. Not quite. That's a lot of force fields. Blast is being delayed. Banelings collapsing. Oh no! Massive connections! Yeah, they crash on and they shut down the Adepts. A couple of station traps do connect, but again, the Banelings did connect nonetheless. They were good enough. Zoning away those Immortals. Queen's moving in as well. And Shameless is running out of steam. He's running out of army. Stasis is about to run out. That's going to be Yakov's timing. He's getting ready for it. Shameless is aware. We have a force field, but again, they get bowed down. Banelings, they crash into the depths once again. Oof. Yeah, brutal connections, cleans up the army, and the all-in has failed. The all-in has failed. There's no fourth base, there's no further attack. Blink just now began. Forge is on the way, so no +1, no blink, no bay, no splash damage, no nothing. And YoungYakov, he shouldn't back off in drone. He shouldn't back off. He should just keep on pushing, keep on going, and end the game. He is. Once again, rolling in. Banelings into the middle line. Massive connections. And GG gets called. YoungYakov, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. Whew. GG. Hi, GG, well played. Congratulations, YoungYakov. He will claim the series. He will advance on. Again, a surprising build out of Shameless. We spoke about what he was doing, but the rationale behind it caught me off guard, especially on a larger map, right? Like, this is Maganatha. The likelihood of Shameless going into a macro build, going into a third base, a fourth base, and building up a robust army and working towards Skytals is very high. It's very high that he would do so, which is most likely why he went for the all-in, because it's unexpected, right? Like, what's last thing he would expect is for me to go for an all-in on Maganatha, whereas this map is known for macro play. So it was meant to catch YoungYakov off guard. YoungYakov, it looks like he did take note enough to throw down a Roach Warren. He was able to react well enough against the Adepts as well. The Adepts, they got 0 damage, he got into Roaches, and we mentioned it. If he did decide to skip his Roach Warren, that would have been game. That would have been game then and there. He would have had no Biles, no Ravagers, no answer to the Adept Immortal Sentry, and it would have been a stronger push there from Shameless, but Yakov did decide to play safe and he will secure. GG. GG well played with that. YoungYakov does claim the series, and he will advance on to the semifinals. And your opponent, I mean, they just get harder and harder here. Up next is going to be the first semifinals match of the broadcast. It's going to be a best of 3 between Classic and YoungYakov.